It began with a simple observation. I was in the lab, surrounded by the usual controlled chaos of research, glassware, data sheets, the soft hum of equipment, and I noticed something small. A line of ants moving with purpose. Instinctive. Predictable. Curious, I placed a trap. A droplet of sugar. Then I waited. A few hours later, the trap was full. Dead ants. Overwhelmed by the very substance they were programmed to seek. Drawn to a reward so potent, they ignored the danger. And that got me thinking, this isn't just about ants. Because at a neurochemical level, we're not so different. The dopamine reward system. In neuroscience, dopamine is known as the neurotransmitter of anticipation and motivation. It's what drives behavior. Not the pleasure itself, but the pursuit of pleasure. When we anticipate a reward, whether it's food, sex, novelty, or social validation, dopamine is released in key brain areas like the nucleus accumbens, the ventral tegmental area, VTA, and the prefrontal cortex. This system evolved to help us survive, to make us seek food, connection, shelter. But in the modern world, this ancient reward circuit is being hijacked. Rat experiments and the origins of dopamine addiction. Consider the classic experiments from the 1950s by Olds and Milner, where rats were implanted with electrodes in their dopamine pathways. The rats learned to press a lever to stimulate their own brains, what we now understand as self-administered dopamine surges. They ignored food, ignored sleep. They pressed the lever until they collapsed. Some died from exhaustion. These studies laid the foundation for understanding dopaminergic reinforcement and behavioral addiction. It's not just drugs. This is the same system involved in gambling, pornography, binge eating, social media, and compulsive shopping. Hyperstimulation in the modern environment. Today, we live in a world engineered for hyperstimulation. Every ping on your phone, every scroll on your feed, every advertisement you see. It's designed to trigger that reward system, to flood your brain with dopamine. But here's the catch. When dopamine is triggered too often, receptors downregulate. Your brain becomes desensitized. You need more to feel the same effect. This leads to a vicious cycle. You crave more stimulation but enjoy it less. Tasks that don't provide immediate reward, like studying, cleaning, building relationships, become harder. You lose motivation. Reality starts to feel dull. You develop what some researchers call anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure from normal, everyday things. The corporate hijacking of human behavior. And this isn't just a biological accident, it's a business model. Major tech companies, social media platforms, and retail chains design experiences to maximize time on platform and purchasing behavior by exploiting the reward system. They use behavioral science, A/B testing, and AI algorithms to optimize dopamine release. Infinite scroll on Instagram? Designed using intermittent variable rewards, the same mechanism used in slot machines. Notifications and like counts? Trigger social validation loops tied to self-worth. Targeted ads? Exploit microdosing of novelty to hook attention and trigger desire. This is what psychologist B.F. Skinner would have called a conditioned response loop, but on a global, commercialized scale. Are we really in control? What appears to be free will is often neurochemical reinforcement. Our choices are heavily influenced by our environments, and those environments are increasingly controlled by systems designed not for our well-being, but for engagement and conversion. Even our beliefs are susceptible. Studies in cognitive psychology show that exposure effect, confirmation bias, and framing can shape what we perceive as truth. So when you watch a video that changes your opinion or buy a product you didn't plan to, ask yourself, was it truly your choice? Or did the algorithm choose for you? The ants and us, a sobering parallel. When I saw those ants swarming the sugar until they died, I couldn't shake the image. They weren't stupid. They were doing exactly what their brains were wired to do. Follow the reward. Ignore the risk. Keep going until they couldn't. And maybe, just maybe, we're doing the same thing. Every time we scroll mindlessly. Every time we eat without hunger. Every time we buy what we don't need. We are ants in a dopamine trap. Except ours is digital, commercial, systemic. And far more dangerous because we think we're in control. What is sugar today? Sugar isn't just food. It's dopaminergic currency. It's that notification buzz. That one more episode. That one-click purchase. That viral tweet. That late-night binge of processed food. And, behind all of it, corporations profit. Not from selling products, but from selling attention. They harvest your data, measure your habits, and optimize your experience, not for your benefit, but for your engagement. Final reflection. So, next time you see an ant marching toward a sugar trap,
Pause.
reflect, because you may be doing the same. The lever might look different. It might be a phone, a checkout page, a like button, but the mechanism is the same. The ants never saw the trap.
We still can.
But only if we start recognizing how our behaviors are being shaped, not by conscious intent, but by the invisible hand of dopamine economics.